Oh, Sunday. Oh, Monday. Oh,
Hi guys, welcome to episode 5 of Tawi Tawi Early Morning Thoughts. And for this episode, I'd like to talk about something very light. In previous episodes, I've been talking about the COVID pandemic and various festivals that are happening here in the province of Tawi Tawi. But because of the past 2 weeks of heavy rains, I got sick and was really feeling under the weather. And for the past 2 weeks, I've been playing mobile games on my phone. I mean, let's face it, if it's raining outside and because of the GCQ dito na nangyayari sa atin dito sa Tawi-Tawi, there's nothing much to do at home. And to top it off, if you're feeling sick, there's nothing much to do to entertain yourself. So for these past 2 weeks, I've been playing a Moba game, a mobile online battle arena game, which is called Marvel Super War. So this game is for Android and iOS and it's only available dito sa Southeast Asia. It was first released on the later part of 2019 and has been gradually picking up since then. So first things first, what is a MOBA game? So MOBA is an abbreviation of Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. And as far as I know, the very first MOBA game that came out was for PC. It's a mod for Warcraft 3 called Defense of the Ancients or Dota. So a typical MOBA game is, participated by 10 players, group 5 each into 2 groups, and you're going to battle in one arena or map. And as to the reason kung bakit there are 2 groups fighting in one arena or map, well, the story there is pretty loose. I mean, let's face it, the reason kung bakit naglalaro tayo ng MOBA games is for the strategy, teamwork, and of course the role that you play for your group. Now, hands down, dito sa province ng Tawi-Tawi, karamihan ng mga MOBA players in the Android platform is playing Moonton's Mobile Legends. So Mobile Legends was first released July 14, 2016. And through the years, it has become the best or the number one game, MOBA game dito sa Philippines. And of course, dito sa province ng Tawi-Tawi. I mean, last year during the pandemic, yung SK ng Municipality of Sitangkay, I think, hosted a ML or Mobile Legends tournament. And I think they did it twice. And I think they're also planning on doing something soon for this year. Now, Mobile Legends, League of Legends, Arena of Valor, Vainglory, and the like have their own appeal. I mean, don't get me wrong, all of these games are good. But for me, there's something about Marvel, you know. I have been a fan of Marvel since growing up. I mean, as early as 6 years old, I've been reading Marvel comics, especially Iron Man comics. That's the first comics that I read. And growing up also in Zamboanga City, I think around 5 o'clock yata, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock, I've been watching the Captain America, Namor, and Thor shows. It's a cartoon, short cartoons before the news. In terms of toys naman, I grew up to, G.I. Joe action figures, Transformers, and kasi mahal nga yung Marvel franchise dati and you don't get it lang, it's very hard to get. Kailangan you have to go to Manila to buy an action figure of Marvel. And in my teen years, I've been playing sa arcade. I think it's called Avengers sa arcade, and of course the X-Men sa family computer, and of course the Sega Genesis. So you get the picture. I've been like such a fan of Marvel. So let's fast forward to 2019. I think it was March nung lumabas na yung beta testing for the Marvel Super War, and I was really super excited. So I decided to sign up for that and I tried the game. I tried it at least only once because ang hirap makapasok talaga. You have to queue up just to log in because beta testing nga siya for you to give feedbacks, and I was only able to go in just once. And yung sa one time na naglaro ako, I think I played the Captain America, I think yung time na yun. And what surprising was the graphics was really not so good. I mean, ang pangit ng graphics niya. Well, you have to understand, it was beta testing eh. And the gameplay was much slower than Mobile Legends because by those times I've been playing Mobile Legends religiously na. But despite all that, I really fell in love with the game and I was thinking, well, I'll be waiting na lang for the official release and then I'm going to start to play it. Well, funny thing, pagdating nga ng 2019 when the game was officially released and we started playing, true to my word, I stopped playing Mobile Legends and I was playing Marvel Super War. But it lasted for about, I think, around 3 months lang, and then I stopped playing and switched back to Mobile Legends. And the reason for that was because, well, I was using an old phone, and of course, the HD pack cannot be downloaded dun sa Marvel Super War. So the graphics was really meh, you know. It was really not that good. And the matchmaking for that game was very, very long and very slow. Sometimes it takes me around 2, 3, or 4 minutes just to play one match, and ang daming mga toxic players who quit or trash talk lang or don't know how to play the game. So the experience was really not that good for me. So now you're probably wondering, if I tried it before tapos ganun nga yung experience ko, so why am I trying to promote it or talk about it right now? And why for the past 2 weeks yung nagkasakit ako, instead of playing, well, Mobile Legends, bakit I went back to Marvel Super War? So I think it's best while I'm talking about it, it's also best that I show you. So this is the intro of Marvel Super War, and let me just say that the intro is really amazing. I mean, for any Marvel fan, this is one of the ultimate matchups. I mean, through the years, marami na talagang Marvel games, fighting games like Marvel vs. Capcom, Marvel Superheroes, War of the Gems, but a Moba game, this is the first of its kind. So for those of you who haven't played this, it's like if your favorite game is, for example, Mobile Legends or Vainglory or Arena of Valor. So it's the same mechanics, but with Marvel superheroes. This game was created by NetEase in collaboration with Marvel. And let me just say, sa mobile platform, NetEase is one of the companies that makes really gorgeous, beautiful graphics. And their games are really detailed graphically. I mean, sometimes nga, you really forget that you're playing a mobile game kasi ang ganda nga ng graphics, parang PC siya or parang console. Ang downside nga lang kapag low-end ang phone mo, well, hindi mo malalaro. So for example, tapos mo na i-download yung Marvel Super War. So the first thing that you're going to do is you're going to create your IGN or your in-game name. So that's your handle or yung pangalan mo in-game. So with me, I'm going to start with TEMT. So with Moba games, the stories are really pretty loose. Hindi siya katulad ng RPG or any other games dyan. So ito yung story niya.
The multiverse contains infinite parallel universes existing in perfect equilibrium. But when that equilibrium is disrupted, universes collide with apocalyptic consequences. This is the crisis we face, Watcher. Earth is the nexus where parallel universes converge, and the site of our most desperate battle. Space-time twists back on itself, spawning paradoxes and horrors. Heroes fight to save their home world. For one Earth to survive a convergence, the other must be destroyed. We must fight for our survival, and we need your help. Earth's heroes stand ready. Now it is time for you to join them.
So yeah, the story is pretty generic, diba? But at least it's nice kasi at least may reason kung bakit kayo naglalaban-laban sa isang arena or map, pati kung bakit kailangan sirain yung base or yung nexus. So as of July 2021, there are a total of 69 characters. or heroes dito sa game. So the roles here are switched into 6 categories, and depending on the type of hero that you're using, meron din siyang optimal positions sa map. Now, like in any Moba game, depende yan sa strategy yung positioning mo. So to keep it simple, well, we're going to explain lang yung mga generic simple positions lang especially for people who are starting the game. And to save us some time, so bawat categories, I'm just going to give one example of a hero or character for that category, para at least naman hindi masyadong mahaba itong video na to. So first off, we have fighters and tanks. Now, fighters in general have pretty good damage and a decent defense. So usually in team fights, fighters are the vanguards and serve as the first line ng clashing. So the best position for fighters are at the top lane, and usually solo top ka dyan eh. So ang adversary mo lang dyan is, kalaban mo rin na fighter sa ibang team. So yung objective mo dito is to level up quickly and acquire good equipment. Because when you do, pwede mo na yang i-bully yung mga mid tsaka bottom lane. Because usually you have a balanced defense and of course offense. So one classic example of a type fighter is Hulk. He is actually a tank, but because of his high damage and his regen, so he is more like a tank fighter for me. He's also one of the easiest characters to use, especially when you're starting out in Marvel Super War. And come on, let's be honest here. I mean, who doesn't want to use a fighter who slams enemies to the ground here and there? So yeah, one of the best reasons to play Marvel Super War is because they have the Incredible Hulk. Now let's switch up to the mid lane where energy heroes are pretty dominant. So it's safe to think of mage heroes as artillery or support. So usually they stay at the mid lane so they could offer help for either the top or the bottom lane depending on what lane needs help. Usually they boast insane damages even though at the earlier game. And if played right, they could be downright unbeatable sa late game. So your role here as an energy hero is to stay at the middle lane and to provide quick support for the top and the bottom lane. And guys, this goes without saying, but energy heroes are pretty squishy, so you have to position yourself far away from clashing and spam those skills. One classic example of a energy hero is Scarlet Witch.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are.
You will.
An enemy hero has been defeated.
Now, for the bottom lane, there are two heroes that really have to go hand in hand. That's the marksman, who has the highest damage per second in game, and of course the support. Now usually support heroes are mages with high survivability skills. One classic example is Mantis from Guardians of the Galaxy, who has healing abilities, moderate damage against multiple enemies, and a very high crowd control skill for single opponents. But as you well know, that support heroes are only as good as the heroes that they are supporting. So if you're not much of a team player, then I suggest that you don't play support because it could be very, very frustrating. And next, we have the support tanks. Now, tank heroes have the highest HP and defense in-game. And usually they have lots of crowd control skills, if not damage. A classic example of a tank hero is the X-Men hero Colossus. Now this guy's got tons of defense, and all his skills are either crowd control or slow. So your job as a tank hero is to be situated in the bottom lane, support your marksman as he clears the lanes, and protect your marksman at all costs. Remember, usually in the late game, it's the marksman who either makes or breaks the game. When it comes to team fights, usually your job is to use all your crowd control skills to pin the enemies in one location. That way, you can set up the location for the energy heroes to spam their skills, and of course to pin them so that the marksman can pick them off one by one.
Fight dirty.
Time to sweep the leg, Johnny.
Hey! Meet with someone your own size.
That's such a you thing to say. Go get him, Tiger! Big CGI fight coming up.
Next, we have the Marksman Heroes. Now, Marksman Heroes have the highest damage per second attacks. Well, they start out coming as pretty weak, but with farming and leveling up, as well as getting good equipment, they can be pretty deadly in a fight. So, while playing Marksman Heroes, here are the things that you should just learn. Number 1, don't get yourself killed, because the respawn time robs you of the opportunity to kill creeps and get gold. Next, always make it a habit of clearing the minion wave and to break the bottom tower as quick as possible. Once you break that bottom tower, so it's assured that you already have good equipment and you can roam around and start hunting. So a classic example of a marksman hero would be the Avenger hero Hawkeye. One thing nice about this character is he has a buff for his basic attack. So if you buy equipments for attack speed and damage plus the buff, then you'd really be able to deal some massive damage on the enemy.
I got him.
Last but definitely not least are the assassin heroes. So these heroes are situated at the jungle lane, and usually it's the role of the assassins to clear this lane to get all the buffs and of course to level up faster. If played right, assassins are usually the ones who reach max level faster. And if you want to play an assassin hero, your role is basically to clear the jungle lane, steal all the buffs if possible, and learn how to gank efficiently. In the early games, assassins usually have high burst damage, so it's easier to kill mages and of course players who have low health. But the downside of the high damage is of course the very low HP. So if you can't kill the enemy in the first few seconds, it's best to run away lest you be killed. So a classic example of an assassin hero would be the hero Quicksilver. Now this guy is pretty fast. His skill 1 can basically decimate a whole lane of creeps. And he has a maximum of 2 dashes for skill 2. So it's really easier for you to go in and out in team fights and to better position yourself. And one of the most annoying skills while facing Quicksilver in a fight is his ultimate skill. But luckily, it's a channeling skill, so he has about a few seconds for it to be cast. But once he casts his skill, he slows down time for a surrounding area. And when I say slows down time, it's like 90%. So you really move very, very slow. Well, the good thing here, even if you're slow, you could still cast your skills, but well, by the time your skills are fully casted, he might have killed you already.
If I could save time in a bottle, first thing that I'd like to do.
So that's all I have to say about this game. Actually, there are a lot of things that we haven't discussed about this game, and I really urge everyone to at least play it even once. So if you're a diehard Marvel fan like me, or became a fan through its comics, its movies, or its TV series, then this game is definitely worth trying. So thank you very much for watching episode 6 of Tawi Tawi Early Morning Thoughts. If you like the content, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification icon for you to stay updated in any future videos that I may come upon. So for the prospective watchers out there, I hope to see you guys on the battlefield where we can have a fair fight. And I'll see you in the next video.